A silent Earth, the Earth was quiet. From space, the blue planet looked calm, almost asleep. Clouds drifted slowly across its oceans. Cities glowed with tiny lights at night, like fireflies on a dark shore. To anyone watching, it seemed peaceful, untouched by war. But peace can be an illusion. Far beyond the moon, in the black sea of stars, something was moving. Shadows of warships, silent and vast, slid through the void. Their hulls were black as stone, their weapons glowing faint red like coals waiting to burn. They did not belong to Earth. They came from another world, another empire. For weeks they had been waiting in the outer edges of the solar system, hidden in darkness. Thousands of them, scouts, destroyers, carriers, and dreadnoughts larger than mountains. Their mission was simple: invade, crush, and erase. Earth was not ready. In orbit, humanity's fleet was small. A few stations, a handful of cruisers, and some old warships that looked tiny compared to the alien armada. The colonies on Mars and the mining stations near Jupiter had some defense ships, but they were scattered. Against a true empire, they were like children holding sticks against a storm. Most humans did not even know the danger was near. On Earth, people went about their daily lives. They walked in crowded streets, they laughed in homes, they dreamed under the stars. They had no idea that death was hiding just beyond those very stars. But under the soil of Earth, deep below forgotten ruins, something ancient was listening, something that had slept for longer than human history. It was not a person. It was not even just a machine. It was a guardian, and its time was almost here. The first warning came from the colony on Mars. At first, it was only static on the comms, then screams. A single transmission broke through. They are here. Huge ships. Fire in the skies, the signal cut off. Silence followed. On Earth, military leaders panicked. Messages rushed across every channel. Fleets were scrambled. Defenses were powered up. But everyone knew the truth. Humanity could not stand against such force. And yet, in the shadows of old mountain ranges, hidden under layers of rock, a signal pulsed. It was faint like a heartbeat. A low hum vibrated through forgotten tunnels where no human had walked for centuries. Machines stirred in the dark, lights flickered in ancient halls, and a voice spoke to itself for the first time in thousands of years. Threat level extreme. Condition humanity endangered. Awakening protocol. Beginning. The Earth above remained silent. No one knew what was moving beneath their feet. In the Pacific Ocean, a group of children lay on the beach pointing at the stars. They laughed, not knowing some of those stars were not stars at all, but enemy ships preparing for war. A fisherman near the coast hummed an old song as he cast his net, never dreaming that soon fire might fall from the heavens. The silence of Earth was a mask. Behind it, tension grew. The aliens were ready. Humanity was blind, and the Guardian was waking. Far above the planet, a single alien scout ship uncloaked. It drifted near the moon, scanning Earth with beams of blue light. Its commander clicked its mandibles and hissed, satisfied. The planet was soft, unprotected, easy prey. It sent the signal back to the fleet. Begin the invasion. But as that signal spread, the ancient pulse under Earth grew stronger. In a forgotten chamber deep under Siberian ice, machines came alive. Metal walls shook as enormous gears unlocked. A massive structure older than the pyramids trembled like a heartbeat. The Guardian was still sleeping, but its dreams were changing. It remembered war. It remembered fire in the skies. It remembered the first time humanity had stood against the stars. And it remembered its duty. One last whisper echoed in the dark. I am the Guardian of Earth, and I will awaken. Above, in the silent heavens, the alien fleet shifted. The first warships began to move toward Earth, their engines glowing like suns. Space was no longer quiet. War was coming, and the world had no idea. The silence of Earth was about to break. The first strike. The stars above Mars turned red. At first, colonists thought it was only another sunrise, light bending across the thin sky, but it was not light from a sun. It was fire from alien weapons. The first alien dreadnought appeared above the colony dome. It was enormous, so large its shadow covered half the horizon. Its surface crawled with strange symbols glowing in blood-red light. In silence, its weapons charged. Then the silence broke. A single blast struck the main dome. The shield held for 5 seconds. On the 6th, it shattered like glass. The people of Mars ran through burning streets. Some screamed into radios begging Earth for help. Others tried to reach small shuttles, only to see them cut apart by alien fighters swarming like locusts. The skies of Mars became a storm of fire. The first strike had begun. News spread across the system. A mining station near Jupiter caught the transmission, half-broken, filled with screams, and relayed it to Earth. In every military command center, alarms blared. Generals shouted orders. Fleets were scrambled, but fear filled every face. Everyone knew humanity's ships were weak. Old cruisers, outdated weapons, thin shields. The alien fleet was something else. Their warships were living mountains of metal, their weapons able to burn through a city in seconds. On Earth, in the capital, the Defense Council argued, "We must send everything to protect Mars. No, if Earth falls, all humanity falls. We don't have enough ships for both." Their words were desperate, their choices impossible, and still the enemy came closer. In orbit above Mars, the human defense fleet tried to hold the line. 30 small ships stood against hundreds of alien destroyers. The battle was short, brutal, hopeless. Missiles streaked into the void, human guns roared, but alien shields swallowed the attacks like rain on stone. One by one, human ships exploded, their crews lost in silence. Only fragments of burning metal remained, drifting among the stars. The commander of the fleet sent one last message before his flagship was torn apart. "We are outnumbered. They are stronger. Tell Earth, prepare." Static swallowed his words. On Earth, fear grew into panic. News channels leaked the truth. Mars was burning and the fleet was gone. Citizens filled the streets shouting, crying, demanding answers. Families tried to contact loved ones in the colonies only to find silence. But deep below Earth's surface, in the hidden ruins, something ancient stirred louder. Machines hummed, lights glowed, and the Guardian systems came online piece by piece. It was not ready yet. But it was waking faster now, pushed by the cries of its people. Far above, the alien armada moved in perfect silence. Their leaders believed Earth was already theirs. To them, humans were weak, unworthy, a forgotten race lost in a corner of the galaxy. On the bridge of the lead dreadnought, the alien commander stood tall, its skin armored like stone. Its voice was cold as it spoke. "Erase Mars, then Earth, leave nothing behind. The humans will not rise again." Its soldiers hissed in agreement, their claws tapped against control panels, their weapons charged again. Back on Earth, a young technician named Rhea sat in an underground base staring at her monitor. She was not a soldier. She was not a commander. She was only watching data streams from deep scanners. But what she saw made her heart stop. Strange energy, massive, pulsing, rising from under Siberia. It was not alien. It was human, but older than anything recorded. She whispered to her captain, "Sir, something under Earth is waking." The captain frowned, thinking it was an error, but the data did not lie. Meanwhile, in the skies above Mars, the alien fleet finished its work. The colonies were ash. The last ships were gone. Only ruins remained. The invaders turned their eyes toward Earth. The first strike had broken humanity's shield. Now the path to Earth was open, but then something unexpected happened. As the alien fleet prepared to jump toward Earth, their long-range sensors caught a surge of energy from the planet. It was strange, old, unlike anything they had seen. It was not human technology. It was older, deeper, more dangerous. The alien commander froze, its eyes narrowing. For the first time, it felt something like unease. On Earth, the pulse beneath the soil grew into a roar. Mountains shook. The ice cracked in Siberia. Lights flared underground, bright enough to be seen through the snow. The Guardian's voice echoed again, deep, ancient, unbroken. Awakening complete. Threat detected. Preparing for war. And in the silence before the storm, the heavens seemed to pause. The Guardian was almost ready. The first strike was not the end. It was only the beginning. The awakening. The earth trembled. In Siberia, where the land was covered with endless white ice and storms howled like wild beasts, the ground shook as if something beneath it was alive. Villagers in the far north ran from their homes, staring at the frozen horizon. They saw the snow split, giant cracks spreading like spiderwebs. From those cracks, light poured out, blinding white and blue, pulsing like a heartbeat. It was no earthquake. It was something far older, something rising. For thousands of years, the Guardian had slept, hidden deep below rock and ice, buried by humans of a forgotten age. sealed in silence until the day it was needed again. That day had come. Its systems came online one by one. Ancient machines roared to life, engines thrummed, reactors blazed. Massive walls of metal unfolded like wings. The Guardian was not just a ship. It was alive. A warship with the mind of a protector and the heart of a soldier. Its voice, deep as thunder, spoke to itself in languages no human alive could understand. Then it translated, adapting to the world above. Primary systems active. Weapons online. Enemy detected. Humanity in danger. Awakening complete. Above, in the skies, satellites caught the first images. A vast shape was breaking free from the ice. Bigger than any human vessel, larger than a city. It rose slowly, its hull black and silver, carved with strange glowing lines that shifted like rivers of light. The news spread fast. Military leaders on Earth watched in disbelief. Civilians stared at screens thinking it was a dream. Some prayed. Some screamed. And in the middle of it all, one truth echoed across the world. Earth had a guardian. Meanwhile, the alien fleet drew closer. The destruction of Mars had been swift. Now their main armada moved into position, preparing to strike at Earth. Thousands of warships, their weapons glowing red, spread across space like a swarm of shadows. On the lead dreadnought, the alien commander studied the strange new readings from Earth. Its voice was sharp with suspicion. Something stirs. Not human. Something. Old. Another alien officer hissed in reply. Whatever it is, we will crush it. Earth will fall like Mars. The commander's eyes narrowed. Deep down, it did not believe it would be that easy. Back on Earth, human fleets prepared to defend their home. Small ships gathered in orbit, captains and crews terrified but determined. They knew they were outnumbered. They knew defeat was almost certain. Yet something inside them changed when they saw the Guardian rising from the ice. One soldier whispered, almost in awe, "We are not alone." Not anymore. The Guardian lifted fully into the sky. The ice collapsed behind it, falling into the cracks it left behind. Snowstorms whirled around its hull as if the air itself bowed to its power. Its engines flared, brighter than the sun, and with a roar that shook the heavens, it launched into space. For the first time in millennia, the Guardian of Earth returned to the stars. In orbit, human commanders tried to open communication. Signals bounced, scrambled, then finally connected. A deep voice filled their ships. "This is the Guardian. I was made by your ancestors. I exist to protect this planet. Stand ready. You will fight beside me." Shock rippled through every human fleet. Some cried out in joy. Others felt fear. But all of them knew the same truth. This ancient warship was their only chance. The alien vanguard reached the moon's orbit first. Sleek destroyers and heavy cruisers filled the void, their weapons glowing, ready to fire on Earth's fragile defense. But the Guardian was already waiting. It stood between Earth and the alien fleet, a titan of steel and light. For a moment, silence filled space. The aliens scanned the massive ship, confused. They had never seen such technology. Was it human? Was it something else? It didn't matter to them. Their orders were clear. Destroy everything. The first alien ship fired. A beam of red energy shot through the void. It struck the Guardian's shield and vanished, absorbed like smoke into the wind. The Guardian's response was immediate. Blue-white energy surged across its hull. Cannons unfolded like wings of fire. In a single flash, it fired. The alien cruiser exploded, torn apart in silence. Pieces of its burning hull scattered across the stars. The other alien ships hesitated. For the first time, they felt something they were not used to feeling. Fear. On Earth, billions watched the live feed. They saw the Guardian fight. They saw the impossible. And they cheered. Children pointed at the sky, shouting. Soldiers raised their fists, roaring. Hope, long forgotten, burned again in every human heart. But the alien commander was not finished. It snarled, its claws cutting into the control rail. "So, Earth has teeth. Then let us break them." The rest of the armada began to move. Hundreds of ships aligned, their weapons charging. The Guardian faced them alone, standing like a mountain against a storm. Its voice rumbled across human comms. "Stay behind me. Learn. Fight. Humanity must rise again." And then, with the heavens frozen in silence, the greatest battle of Earth's history was about to begin. The first clash, the moon hung in silence. Its gray craters and empty plains had watched billions of years pass without sound. But now the silence shattered. The alien fleet slid into orbit like shadows falling across the stars. Dozens of destroyers, sleek frigates with glowing red engines, cruisers armed with weapons larger than mountains. They came forward, fearless, certain Earth would soon burn. And then they saw it. The Guardian. The ancient warship floated between Earth and the alien fleet, its hull glowing with rivers of blue light. It was vast, larger than any human vessel, larger than most alien ships. Its shape was strange, half machine, half alive, as though the ship itself was a breathing creature forged from steel and fire. For a moment, the aliens hesitated. They scanned it again and again. It was not in their records. It was not supposed to exist, their commander hissed in anger. One ship cannot stand against us. Break it. The first wave of alien destroyers moved in, sleek, fast, armed with plasma cannons. They charged as one, weapons firing, beams of red energy cutting through space like knives. The Guardian did not move. Its shields flared bright, absorbing the attack. Sparks danced across its hull, but the beams dissolved before they could do real damage. Then with slow, steady power, the Guardian answered. Cannons unfolded from its sides like wings, energy charged within them, glowing white-blue. With a single roar, the Guardian fired one shot. One destroyer gone. The alien ship exploded into 1,000 burning pieces, its fire lighting the darkness. The human fleets watching from a distance gasped. They had never seen such power. The aliens pressed harder. Dozens of ships swarmed the Guardian, their weapons firing non-stop. Explosions flashed across its shields. The void became a storm of light. Inside the Guardian, systems adjusted. Armor shifted. Cannons reloaded. Its voice echoed across human comms. Observe. Learn. This is how you fight. Then it struck again. Beams of light lanced out, each one slicing through enemy hulls. Alien cruisers broke apart. Fighters disintegrated in streaks of fire. The Guardian moved like a predator, calm, unstoppable. But the aliens were not weak. For every ship destroyed, more arrived. A squadron of heavy cruisers surrounded the Guardian, locking it in crossfire. Red beams slammed into its shields, shaking the massive vessel. For the first time, cracks of light appeared across its defenses. In orbit, human commanders panicked. It's surrounded. If the Guardian falls, Earth is lost. Yet the Guardian did not fall. Its engines flared, brighter than the moon itself. In a sudden surge of speed, it broke free from the trap, turning its cannons on the nearest cruiser. The alien ship was torn apart in seconds. Then another. Then another. On the lead alien dreadnought, the commander watched with cold fury. This thing fights like no human ship, but it bleeds. Keep pressing. Break it. It unleashed the second wave, massive carriers filled with fighters. Hundreds of small alien craft swarmed the Guardian like insects, firing missiles and plasma bursts from every angle. For a moment, the Guardian vanished in the storm. Fire, smoke, explosions lit the void. The human fleets held their breath. Was it over? Then the storm broke. The Guardian emerged, shields glowing like a star, weapons blazing. From its hull, thousands of tiny defense drones launched, spheres of light that moved faster than fighters. They swarmed the alien ships in return, cutting them down with precision strikes. Fighter after fighter exploded until the swarm was gone. Human soldiers watching the battle shouted in disbelief. It's winning. It's really winning. But victory was not complete. The alien commander bared its teeth. With a gesture, the massive dreadnought advanced. It was the size of a small moon, its surface bristling with weapons. Its main cannon charged, glowing brighter and brighter until the void itself seemed to burn. The Guardian turned, shields flaring. The blast came. A single beam, larger than mountains, roared across space. It struck the Guardian's shield with the force of a dying star. The shield held, but it cracked. The shockwave shook every human ship in orbit. Crews cried out as alarms blared. On Earth, screens went white with static. The Guardian's voice boomed, steady but heavy. Damage sustained. Systems holding. Continue the fight. The humans were stunned. Even the Guardian could be hurt. Yet instead of fear, something else filled their hearts. Hope. Because the Guardian had stood against a weapon that could have destroyed an entire city in one shot. And it was still fighting. Human commanders rallied their fleets. Ships moved forward, joining the battle beside the Guardian. Secrets of the Guardian, The battle near the moon was over. Alien wreckage drifted like burning skeletons in the void. Human ships floated nearby, battered but alive. For the first time in memory, humanity had stood against a galactic empire and survived. At the center of it all was the Guardian. Its vast hull glowed dim, energy lines pulsing like veins of light. It moved slowly now, its weapons cooling, its shields repairing. Though victorious, it had taken damage. But more than that, it had revealed itself. Every soldier, every scientist, every leader on Earth wanted answers. Inside Earth's main command center, voices clashed. Screens showed images of the Guardian rising from Siberia, fighting among the stars. One general slammed his fist on the table. That ship saved us. But what is it? Where did it come from? Who controls it? A scientist replied in awe, not fear. It speaks of our ancestors. This means humanity was more advanced once, far more advanced than we are today. The room went silent. The idea was impossible, yet the evidence floated above Earth, larger than any city, older than any known civilization. In orbit, human commanders opened communication. After long attempts, the Guardian finally answered. Its voice filled every channel, deep and calm like an echo from the past. I am the Guardian of Earth. I was created by the first civilization of humanity. My purpose is to protect this planet and its people, no matter the cost. Shock rippled through the fleets. A first civilization? Had humans truly reached the stars before, then vanished into silence? One captain whispered to his crew, "We are not the first. We are only the children of something greater." The Guardian continued, its words steady. Long ago, humanity was mighty. Your ancestors sailed the stars, building empires among the galaxies. But war consumed them. The enemy was too great. The first civilization fell, but before the end, they built me, a last defender. A shield for the Earth. I was hidden, sleeping, waiting for the day when my people would need me again. Its voice grew heavier, almost sorrowful. That day has come. On Earth, billions listened. Citizens gathered around screens in streets and homes. Children stared with wide eyes, hearing of ancestors who had ruled the stars. Farmers in distant villages paused their work, hearing that they were descendants of giants. Hope and pride stirred in every heart. For the first time, humanity felt not small but great. Yet not all were at peace. In the alien dreadnought, the commander hissed as reports came in. Its fleet had been broken by a single ship, but worse fear spread among its soldiers. They whispered of the Guardian as if it were a myth come to life. The commander's claws scraped metal. No legend will save these humans. Legends bleed. Legends die. We will burn it from the sky. And it gave the order for the full armada to advance. Meanwhile, scientists worked day and night to understand the Guardian. Signals were exchanged, data shared. The ship allowed them to see glimpses of its systems. What they discovered was breathtaking. Its armor was made of alloys unknown to modern science, stronger than anything forged today. Its weapons were fusion of technology and biology, almost alive, able to regenerate when damaged. Deep inside its core was a power source, something not nuclear, not fusion, not anything humans understood. It was ancient, and yet more advanced than any alien weapon they had ever faced. One scientist whispered in awe, "This ship is not just a machine. It is part of us. It carries the memory of our ancestors." But the Guardian was not limitless. Its energy reserves, though massive, were not infinite. Its systems, though advanced, had weaknesses. It could fight, but not forever. And the alien empire was not sending just a few ships now. The real armada was coming. Thousands of warships, carriers, and dreadnoughts stretching across the stars. The Guardian itself gave the warning. "I cannot stand alone. Your people must rise. You must fight with me, or Earth will fall." The humans listened. Their fleets were small, their weapons weak. But something inside them had changed. The Guardian had awakened more than just itself. It had awakened their courage. Commanders called their crews to arms. Engineers upgraded old ships with knowledge the Guardian shared. Colonists across the system swore to return to the fight. Humanity, once scattered and broken, began to gather like steel under a hammer. One soldier summed it up with simple words. "If our ancestors built the Guardian, then we can fight beside it. We will not be slaves. We are the children of Earth." And so, under the shadow of the Guardian, Earth prepared for war. The alien empire had power, It had numbers. But now humanity had something more. It had memory. It had hope. And it had a guardian. The battle for Earth was only beginning. The invasion begins. The stars themselves seem to move. At first, human telescopes showed only faint lights at the edge of the solar system. Then the lights multiplied. Dozens became hundreds. Hundreds became thousands. Soon the sky beyond Saturn glowed with the engines of war. The alien armada had arrived. They came like a tidal wave of steel, dreadnoughts larger than cities, carriers that birthed endless swarms of fighters, siege ships designed to crack planets open like eggs. Their weapons glowed red, brighter than suns, promising fire and death. The first clash had only been the opening act. This was the real war. On Earth, fear spread like wildfire. Screens showed endless fleets pouring into the solar system. Citizens in every city whispered the same word, doom. Families fled into bunkers. Colonies on the Moon and Mars sent desperate signals. Help us. We cannot hold without you. But above the fear there was also something new. Determination. Humanity had the Guardian, and humanity was no longer alone. In orbit, the Guardian hovered like a mountain of steel and light. Its voice reached every ship, every soldier, every heart. The enemy comes. They are many, but you are not weak. Stand with me. Fight with me, for Earth. The words echoed heavy and steady. Crews who once felt fear now felt fire. Captains straightened their backs. Soldiers loaded weapons with steady hands. For the first time in history, humanity believed it could win. The battle began near Jupiter. The alien vanguard swept through the outer colonies, burning mining stations, silencing outposts. Human ships rushed to defend, but their weapons were too weak. Cruisers shattered. Stations crumbled. The void filled with fire. But then the Guardian arrived. Its cannons lit up the darkness. Beams of blue-white fire cut across the alien fleet, tearing dreadnoughts apart. Its drones swarmed like a living storm, shredding fighters by the thousands. For every human ship destroyed, the Guardian avenged it with 5 enemy kills. Human fleets rallied around it. Old cruisers, now upgraded with Guardian technology, struck harder than ever. Missiles flew, plasma cannons roared, and for the first time the aliens met real resistance. Still the enemy pressed forward. The alien commander aboard the flagship sneered as it watched from afar. Its claws tapped against the command rail. The humans fight harder than expected, but numbers will crush them. No shield holds forever. It gave the order. Unleash the siege ships. From the rear of the alien armada, massive vessels emerged, black pyramids with glowing red cores. Their purpose was simple: destruction. They charged weapons meant to tear apart moons and crack planets. The Guardian moved to intercept. It fired, destroying 1 siege ship in a flash of light, but 2 more replaced it. Then 4, then 6. The enemy was endless. Human fleets threw themselves into the storm. A small carrier rammed an alien cruiser, sacrificing itself to save Earth's line. A squadron of fighters charged headfirst into enemy swarms, shouting into their comms until the end. Humanity bled, but it did not break. On Earth, people watched the skies in terror. Even from the surface, faint flashes could be seen as battles raged near Jupiter and Saturn. Entire cities gathered in silence, eyes fixed upward. They prayed, they hoped, they waited for news. Then a transmission came through, clear, powerful, unshaken. The Guardian's voice. Earth still stands. Humanity still fights. Do not fear the night. Billions cheered through tears. For a moment the world was united, not by fear but by hope. The battle grew fiercer. Near Saturn's rings, firestorms lit the void. Alien dreadnoughts unleashed beams strong enough to vaporize fleets. The Guardian shielded human ships, absorbing blow after blow. Its armor cracked, its energy drained, but it refused to fall. At one point, the Guardian was surrounded by an entire squadron of enemy battleships. They fired together, a storm of red light that shook its core. But the Guardian answered with something new. Its central core glowed brighter than ever. With a thunderous pulse, it unleashed a shockwave of pure energy. Every alien ship within range was ripped apart, their wreckage spinning into Saturn's rings. The humans who witnessed it shouted with joy. The Guardian was more than a ship. It was a god of war, and yet, even gods can bleed. Damage reports showed cracks across the Guardian's hull. Its shields flickered. Its voice grew slower, heavier. Energy reserves falling. Systems strained. Continue. Continue the fight. Human commanders exchanged worried glances. If the Guardian fell, Earth would burn, but no one thought of surrender. They fought harder. Crews sacrificed their lives. Fleets held their ground, because now they knew they were not just defending Earth, they were defending their future. The alien armada pressed closer, determined to reach Earth, but humanity stood in their way. The Guardian at the front, Earth's fleets beside it, and the will of billions burning behind them. Humanity strikes back. The war burned across the solar system. For days, the alien armada pressed forward like an endless storm. Mining colonies were destroyed, orbital stations shattered, fleets torn apart. Humanity had bled in the void. Thousands of ships lost, millions of lives gone. But Earth still stood. The Guardian still fought. And now, humanity was ready to strike back. In orbit above Earth, command ships buzzed with frantic voices. Engineers and scientists worked side by side, decoding fragments of knowledge the Guardian shared. Ancient schematics, weapon blueprints, shield designs, all buried in its memory. One scientist whispered in awe as the data appeared on her screen. Our ancestors left us everything. The Guardian is teaching us how to fight. Human engineers poured the new knowledge into their ships. Old cruisers were rebuilt with glowing energy shields. Fighters gained weapons that fired beams of light instead of bullets. Even small frigates could now punch holes through alien armor. Within days, the human fleet was reborn. At Saturn's orbit, where the fighting was fiercest, the new fleet launched. Dozens of upgraded cruisers roared into the battle, their hulls shining with blue light. Swarms of fighters charged faster and sharper than ever before. They fought not in fear, but with the strength of warriors reborn. The Guardian moved with them, its voice steady across comms. Strike together. Do not scatter. You are stronger as one. And for the first time, humans and the Guardian fought side by side, not as protectors and children, but as equals. The aliens were not prepared. When human ships opened fire, their beams cut through alien shields. Cruisers that once died in minutes now tore enemy vessels apart. Fighters swarmed dreadnoughts, blasting holes in their armor. Even small human ships fought with the power of giants. On one battlefield near Saturn's rings, a squadron of upgraded human frigates surrounded an alien battleship. Their captain spoke with fire in his voice. For Mars, for Earth, for all of us. They fired together. The alien battleship, once unstoppable, exploded in a storm of fire. Cheers erupted across human comms. The alien commander on the flagship hissed in rage. Its claws dug into the metal rail, sparks flying. Its soldiers trembled under its fury. Impossible. These humans were weak. They were nothing. But weakness had turned into strength, fear into fury. Humanity, once prey, now fought like predators, the commander snarled. Then we crushed them harder. Bring in the dreadnoughts. From the depths of the armada, colossal ships advanced, each one the size of a small moon, bristling with weapons that could level cities. Their cannons glowed red, preparing to fire on Earth itself. The Guardian moved to intercept, its massive hull casting shadows across the void. But this time, the humans moved with it. Fleets swarmed the dreadnoughts. Cruisers struck at their weak points. Fighters dove into their defenses, sacrificing themselves to cripple engines. Human voices shouted through the comms, fearless now. Push them back. They bleed like we do. This is our system. Our home. The dreadnoughts burned. One by one they fell. Not just to the Guardian, but to humans. On Earth, billions watched live feeds of the battle. Crowded cities erupted in cheers as alien ships exploded. Families in bunkers hugged each other with tears of relief. Children pointed at the skies, shouting the names of heroes they would remember forever. The Guardian's voice echoed across the fleets, proud and steady. Yes, this is humanity. This is who you are, children of Earth, fighters of the stars. But the battle was not without sacrifice. A human carrier near Jupiter was struck by an alien superweapon. Flames tore through its hull. Instead of retreating, the captain steered it into the path of an enemy cruiser. Both ships exploded, taking the alien vessel with it. Across the system, countless humans gave their lives. And yet their deaths were not in vain. Each sacrifice gave humanity another chance to strike, another step toward victory. By the battle's end, the alien armada was broken. Dozens of dreadnoughts destroyed. Hundreds of cruisers gone, their fighters scattered, their commanders silent. For the first time, the aliens retreated. The surviving ships pulled back beyond Saturn, their formation shattered, their pride wounded. They had underestimated humanity. They had underestimated the Guardian. The humans had struck back and won. In orbit, battered ships floated together. Crews cheered through comms, voices raw with exhaustion and triumph. One young pilot whispered as he stared at the wreckage around him, "We did it." We actually did it. On Earth, bells rang in cities. Celebrations erupted across the globe. For one shining moment, humanity felt unstoppable. But the Guardian's voice broke the joy with a warning. Do not think the war is over. The enemy retreats, but only to gather strength. They will return with greater force. You must be ready. Silence followed. The truth was heavy. Humanity had won a battle, not the war. Still, humanity was no longer the same. It was no longer afraid. It had risen, struck back, and proved itself worthy of the stars. The Guardian's final words echoed across the system. Stand tall, children of Earth. You are no longer prey. You are warriors. And the universe will remember this day.